The nation adopted the catchphrase from the movie Wall Street, greed is good. And as a mantra, our economy switched to decisions that would benefit the stockholders only. Please note I've used the term businesses and corporations separately. I do this deliberately because I firmly believe that business is an activity that is about community building through trade. Part of that community building includes the generation of profit, but it is not the sole focus of business activity. Corporate trade is only about profit making, and the more, the better. Any community building that occurs through corporate trade is purely accidental. We've got to stop referring to corporate trade activity as being business trade activity. What is good for corporations is not always good for business. So where does that leave us today? I see us in the shoes of Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas Eve, bitter, grasping, and nearly morally bankrupt. We have forgotten what it is to be a community anymore. All we know is how to grasp at the next quarter profit, and anything that interferes with that has to be bad. Reciprocity between community and corporation has disappeared. 50 years ago, the idea of a living wage ordinance would have been unheard of because it was understood that business needed its employees to be well paid since they were also their customers. Like Scrooge, we are now confronted with a fork in the road. We are discovering there are no absolutes when it comes to the world of business and corporations. The mix, input from, and concern about the community, the employee, the environment, and the investor are always in flux. The lesson we have to remember from the past is that America and American business work best when there is a balance among these four elements. And the role we assign government is to remain as neutral as possible and keep the balance as even as possible. For 25 years, our government has lost the sight of this role, and the last 5 years has been seen undisguised support for everything investor. We are quickly slipping into third world status. We must, like Scrooge, take the opportunity presented us here with the living wage ordinance to turn away from the corporate trade and once again build community through business. We must stand up to those boardrooms who cry out they are good men of business and respond with the force of Jacob Marley. Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. So now I would ask us all to join with Scrooge and commune with our spirits of America past and America present, and then contemplate America future. Like Scrooge, we have a choice. We can let this ordinance die here today and the bleak future we are facing becomes reality for our children and our children's children. Or we can start to restore the practice of business trade to our community by returning government to the role of community conscience and helping those caught up in corporate trade return to the real business world. You have that possibility in your grasp. Stop this corporate imbalance, and let's get back to business. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, anyone have any questions for Mr. Nelson? If not, Councilmember Colton-Roy?
No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to thank him for the obvious time and thought he put into his comments today.
Thanks. Next I have Todd Klingel.